Okay, everybody. So here we have Mayor NYC, Eric Adams. I understand a lot of black people, specifically a lot of black women, voted for him. You go. Oh, yeah. He understands our needs. He understands the community. We're going to get an exchange for our vote. No, we're not. Well, you're not. Let me ask you a question. Looking at this here, did they vote him in? These are people across the border trying to get into the U.S. illegally. Did they vote him in? Is what I want to know. So the next time, especially in the BC, y'all want to box up because somebody didn't vote for somebody black or somebody didn't vote Democrat. I'm going to need you to explain this to me. So, as I play the recording, you heard, if you didn't see part A, one more time. What is Mayor Eric Adams doing? Sure, I understand he wants them for the boroughs. But do you not see they are following the plan? I don't want to hear no complaints, even from friends of mine. Do not complain to me about Joey B. I don't want to hear it. Well, I voted for him and this and that. Oh, more tax dollars out of your check? No, really? There's no free lunch, boo-boo. Oh, the tax structure is changed. You're sitting there now with your accountant? Really? But did you have that tax problem under Trump? I'm just being real. But you got it under Joey B. It's politics. And you can vote for whomever you want. But politics is not going to solve your problem, especially for the BC. They haven't yet. So I wonder if these people voted for Mayor Eric Adams. Now, listen to this portion of the clip again, if somebody missed it. So he's visiting the border, okay? Why don't you visit some homeless shelters in New York City? Are you kidding me? So listen to this.
She has received the request and spoke to Adams. Mayor Eric Adams has arrived in El Paso, Texas to see firsthand the crisis at the southern border. His trip comes one day after he sent Governor Kathy Hochul an emergency request asking for immediate help this weekend to shelter arriving asylum seekers.
He sent an emergency request asking for immediate help this weekend. Hold up. Here, and maybe Google is so wrong because I know how the BC would get, that's not true. Well, it's Google, so I'm going to have to rely on Google before I rely on you. Because some people are kind of delusional, don't want to face it. African Americans and Latino New Yorkers are disproportionately affected by homelessness. Listen up. Approximately 58% of New York City homeless shelter residents are African American. 58%. 31% Latinos, 7% are white, less than 1% are Asian American, and 3% are of unknown race, ethnicity. But 58% of New York City homeless shelter residents are African American.
Mayor Eric Adams has arrived in El Paso, Texas to see firsthand the crisis at the southern border. His trip comes one day after he sent Governor Kathy Hochul an emergency request asking for immediate help this weekend to shelter arriving asylum seekers. According to City Hall, the request is for the state to help find locations to house the migrants outside of New York City.
It is a major impact not only to our safety net, but also our recovery.
The mayor says this crisis is driving the city to its breaking point. Just this past week, over 3,000 migrants arrived, with 835 arriving on one single day alone, the most the city has seen so far. Adams says this is a dire emergency and the state needs to help. I was able to ask Governor Hochul about the mayor's request this afternoon. Have you looked at that request and will you be helping out the city? I know the mayor's specifically asking for more housing outside of the 5 boroughs.
I was in contact with Mayor Adams this morning and I told the mayor we'll be continuing to help him. We have been helping him for many months and will continue to give him support.
However, she stopped short of saying how she will continue to help. A spokesperson for the governor says the state has deployed more than 900 members of the National Guard and invested millions of dollars in legal assistance to asylum seekers. But
invest millions of dollars in legal assistance to asylum seekers. Never paid a dime into the tax system. And we have Americans, black, white, all nationalities, Americans born here who are here legally sitting up here suffering. So when you were working and on your feet, your tax dollars that were taken out, now you need some help. Where's the help for the American? And specifically for the BC, where's the help? Because I see we like to attack each other. Oh, no, you didn't go for the Democrat. Where's the help? Where is it? Where's the help? Like I told that Hispanic lady, she was very upset. She worked her job, was laid off, decent living, trying to have the American dream. She's an American citizen now. And then, of course, she got laid off when she was, pregnant. She's complaining. They are treating the illegal immigrant. This chick just came over here. She said the woman hadn't been here, couple of months here illegally, crossed that border illegally, sitting up here pregnant. Next thing you know, they've covered the lady with, with free medical, just like that. In 2 weeks, got free medical. I couldn't believe it. But the Hispanic woman that was born here in America, they told her hers was limited. It didn't make any sense to me. So you're treating the American that was born here, somebody that came across here, broke the law. I could not believe it. Couldn't believe it. I told her, I said, listen, I said, as far as I'm concerned, when you were working your tax dollars, you already paid, honey. I said, so if you start feeling sick about your baby at any moment, anytime, I would go to the ER. This is crazy. She lost her job. That's how they're treating the Americans. The replacement is here. Who doesn't get it, you might be a little slow. The replacement is here. And if you're in the BC and don't get it, Lord have mercy. I wish the prayer cloth for the work was, because if I believed in it, I would order you one. You need one all over your head. And it's not just the BC. I'm telling you, anybody at the bottom, your replacement is here. And let us continue. So my point is, what are the politicians doing for the American people that put them in office? They're singing about everybody but you. Wake up, smell the coffee.
But the mayor says the resources are being stretched thin and the money just isn't there. He's not only calling on the state, but also the federal government to step in. He estimates the cost to care for asylum seekers is now approaching $2 billion. Congresswoman Nidia Velázquez says she agrees with the mayor.
It is the responsibility of the federal government to provide relief to the city of New York, and we have approached the White House, and we have...
Let me tell you something, lady. It's not the federal government's responsibility to take care of people that came to this country illegally. The government's responsibility is to the darn taxpayer, not somebody who just came over here for a free ride. Now, people want a better life. I understand that. But no. We got too many Americans that are sitting up here surfing, looking like the fool of the week. All these tax dollars paid out. Then you need some help. You sitting up in a darn shelter. It's the federal government to help these citizens right here. 58% homeless residents in New York City are African American, 31% Latino, 7% are white, 1% are Asian, 3% other unknown race, ethnicity. It is the federal government. What about their government? And they sure know how to come over here, get a job, and send money back home over there. No. It's out of hand. So the next time, especially in the BC, y'all want to start fighting and boxing up because somebody didn't vote Democrat. I'm sorry to tell you, looking kind of foolish right now. The Americans, as we breathe, are being priced out. Being priced out of not just your lifestyle, out of life, your existence. Being priced out. So, of course, she's going to say that Vila, those are her, she's probably thinking, oh, yeah, here's the thing about it. The black politicians are doing nothing for the BC. I'm sorry to tell you. They just sitting up there with a mouthpiece, and most of our people are so emotional. So emotional. We're in love with symbolism. A black person that looks like me and dressed nicely. Okay, and then what? You're in love with symbolism. That's why we have to, and the whole point, we have to make critical decisions about life. The politics of not, it hadn't saved you thus far. Who's coming to the aid of the American? Who's seeking more aid for the Americans to get them out the shelters? And don't forget, we're in a recession. It's been enough quarters, you think? The evidence is there. We're in a recession. They don't want to call it that. Then what do you think is going to happen when it really hits? Even retail investors losing a whole lot of money. Why? My opinion, I've read information on it. There's a book out there about the guy that was on Wall Street. Is it rigged? I believe it is, with the market makers, and that's my opinion. Just try to get in where you can. We're all taking a chance. When I say don't believe the green on the screen, and I'm referring to the financial news, all those companies in green at the bottom, the reason they're in green is because guess what? They're laying off. And people know, oh, good, you're trimming the fat. Why? So the company can be more profitable. The green on the screen is not for the working person. You might lose your job. They're cutting off managers. Goldman Sachs cutting out what? 3,200. Amazon 18,000. Some of the company, I can't recall the name, laying off 200 managers. Not the worker bee, laying off 200 managers. So when I say on the rudder for the investment channels, don't believe the green on the screen, it's not real because it's bad. You think all these hedge funds and VCs to my shorting stock for a reason. Somebody pumping green somewhere. Don't believe the green on the screen. It's not for you and me. If you're a shareholder, yes. Everyday American? No, they're trimming the fat. So if you're waiting, my point is, if you're waiting for politics to save you, and men in the BCR, if you're waiting for politics to come and save your life, sweetie, you might be going night-night. It's not, the help is not coming. I haven't seen it yet. Where is it? There's no more free money to give. What is the mayor doing to address all the Americans that are in the home shelters now? What is he doing? What is he doing? Have you been, Mayor Adams? Have you been, sir, to the homeless shelter? And especially for the peeps, because just be a black man in a suit, the peeps go crazy. All they have, and all they got to do is say, he can just say booty, yay, woo! Waiting on politics to save you. Good luck. Has he been to the homeless shelter recently? Have you asked for more funding? More job cuts are coming. People living paycheck to paycheck. What do you think's going to happen? And if it's like this now for the African American community, what do you think is going to happen when it really hits the fan? All that old crazy talk, oh, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. It's not. Grandmama been saying it. The one before her said it. The preacher saying it. Okay, it's not all right if you're in a homeless shelter. So yeah, wow. Mayor Eric Adams, I guess they got the memo. It has to be a memo circulating that they're right there. But again, Biden already said who he's going to invest in, and to think, and especially in the BC, you sitting up here waiting for some politics to come and save the day. Oh, they fear an all-black planet? Yeah, I kind of would too, because the men in charge, very few that's trying to do something are not going to get support. I'm just afraid, I hate to say it. I think they pretty much have written the group off. And for any American, black, white, nationality, Hispanic, anybody, doesn't matter. the hard working at the bottom, they don't care about the middle class. Those at the bottom, I think they've written them off too. They don't care. I've heard rich people say it. Oh, don't worry about them. Black and white, I've heard them. They don't care. So if you think they do, they're already showing you. So keep in mind, you want to box up because somebody didn't vote Democrat. Oh, you want to, what? They don't give a darn about you or me. Politics, Republicans, Democrat, no one's going to come and save your life. There is an agenda. Who does not see it? So don't worry when they get settled. When they get settled, and you can't blame them. Heck, if I was facing a hard time and they're saying, "Hey, just get over here, cross illegally," man, you can live in a hotel. They got free food that's catered to you. Hey, why not? Who wouldn't come? Only a sucker wouldn't if you're broke. But who's gonna help the African Americans, the Latino American, the white Americans at the bottom in the homeless shelter? Where's your help? I thought the blue was for you. I can't tell. And the more, like I said before, it's like, just imagine you live in a town. There's one job opening, and there's 10 people. Well, when you bring thousands in, well, you may have competition for that job. You may have a chance of getting out of 10 people. What's going to happen when they bring other people in? It could be entry level, lower level. And then you're looking at, now there's 200 people. And especially in the BC, good luck, because this community doesn't like to build. You're going to learn a hard lesson for those you want to go ahead and starve your own out. Gee, I wonder why the Asians have 1%. And they have a whole lot of businesses in the BC. Why is that? That's a different video. But keep this in mind. 58%, because I know black folks love to box up. We'll get on you. If you didn't vote Democrat, we'll get on you. You don't support a black man in office, we'll get on you. What good is it doing you?
To the governor, who told us she has received the request and spoke to Adams. Mayor Eric Adams has arrived in El Paso, Texas to see firsthand the crisis at the southern border.
Sir, what about the crisis in the homeless shelters in New York City with American citizens? The angry American, I understand it. Some people don't get it. Some don't get it. Anyway, this is exasperating. It is psychologically dehumanizing. It is hurtful. And I'm not in a homeless shelter, but hell, I'm a human being. It angers me. It's going to get cold in New York City. Well, no, it's cold now, I'm sure. But you know how cold that winter can get. Woo, New York City and Chicago. Oh, Lord. Families don't have a home. You need a home to kind of keep a foundation, but they're homeless. You need a home to kind of, for a foundation, some form of sanity. A place to go and lay your head at night, close the door, and shut the outside world out. And especially with children, gosh, I can't imagine with children. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I am I'm so done with this nonsense. This is just crazy. So for those of you, today is Sunday, January 15th. Many of us are in our homes, comfortable, warm, toasty, safe. You got plenty of food in the fridge, plenty of whatever you need, mimosas, wine, bar stacked. Some of us sitting up here, some of you, I'm sure, a little person probably got a couple of $1,000s in wine. And you may have drinks later on and a nice dinner and a nice lunch. It's Sunday, relaxing. Imagine somebody's in a homeless shelter. And then they say, I believe at a certain time you have to get out. Get out and go where? Get out and go. Wow. I mean, it makes me, if I could become invisible, I would do like the Go to Karate commercial. They had that pan and go, you got to be kidding me. And it does anger me. So think about that. Anyway, Simply Said here on YouTube. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share, and I'm out.